Anganwadi eggs putting kids at risk. This is a story which is coming from Hyderabad, where a study says that the eggs supplied to Anganwadi, which the children consume, are damaged, they are bad quality, and they are actually stunting the growth of children. Eggs were given to see that the children are not stunted, but the reverse is happening. Let's deep dive into the guest and ask them. Dr. Shikhar Sharma, scientific mentor, Rainforest Wellness and veteran nutritionist, has joined us, and Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairperson, Nephron Clinic. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for your patience and my apologies. Political stories, politicians tend to speak more than what we want. Thank you very much. Dr. Bagai, I'll start with you and quick responses so that the parents can take this away. These eggs which are given to kids, they are damaged, they are small in size, sometimes they are cracked. Apparently, semolina also gets into those eggs. The intent was, doctor, to give it to them so that their growth is not stunted. We see a lot of kids being stunted in this country, but the reverse is happening. According to me, Dr. Saab, this is a crime. Of course, everyone has their own right to do that. But how awful is this? Because these eggs cannot be sent to the market, they are being given to the kids. Dr. Bagai, your response, sir.
Good evening. I think this is very unfortunate. The midday meals, what we are giving to small children and infants, is basically to look after almost 40 to 50% of the total daily nutritional requirements. Stunting in India is almost 34% of children below the age of 5 years, and severe wasting almost 19.3%. When you look at egg, an average egg gives approximately 7 to 8 grams of protein and about 80 calories and 5 grams fat. Now, if the eggs are smaller in size or indeed cracked or contaminated, then it obviously, one, does not meet the nutritional requirements, so the children fall behind as far as the protein and caloric intake is concerned, further damaging their protein and energy malnutrition. Point number 2, if the eggs are cracked, they are liable to get bacterial infections. The most common ones are things like salmonella, which causes gastroenteritis and high-grade fever, predisposing towards typhoid fever. And secondly is gram-negative infections like E. coli, which again cause intestinal infections. And all these infections cause malabsorption and further deterioration of a child's overall growth, physical growth and mental growth.
My God.
When we look at stunting, we only talk of physical growth, but what is very important is to look at the impact on the mental wellness of children, because nutrition impacts the brain.
Dr. Bagai has made some excellent points. Dr. Sharma, these midday meals, great job. Like Dr. Bagai said, it started in Tamil Nadu, it's been copied elsewhere so that children can come study and also get meal, which they don't. These are children from, disempowered kind of communities. But Dr. Sharma, when you give them substandard eggs, like in this case, there was also a case where worms were found in eggs, where insects are found in rice in the south. If this is the state, don't you think, Dr. Shikhar Sharma, like Dr. Bagai said, mental stuntness, physical stuntness, everything. Apart from that, don't you think generations are also impacted? I'm more bothered about that. A stunted child is a stunted adult, Dr. Shikhar Sharma.
You are absolutely right, and I think the biggest problem is egg is one issue which has come out, and of course it is a serious issue where the researchers have seen stunting has intensified. But if you really see, the problem is of how the whole thing is being done. When the provider of nutrition or the supply is far removed from the community, these things are likely to happen. Why? Because they don't care, they are not accountable, they are not liable. Now, having said that, it's not that the midday meals can't be done in a better way. They can be done, but it is very important to involve the local community and especially the mothers groups so that the right kind of quality ingredients are reaching to the child. See, egg is seen as a fancy food, and therefore it is like coming from the top and it is being procured. But the reality is there are many other things which can be done locally. Every area has local proteins, like for example, mungfali, peanuts, black chana, sesame seed, alsi. In fact, alsi is a very
peanuts was given to them, a lot of them, but they, like you said, it's fancy. They wanted eggs. The mothers cannot be involved because the mothers are going to work, ma'am. Who is going to? What are the officials doing? Dr. Bagai, don't you think the onus is on these officials? They get a budget from the government, sir.
So I think any misappropriation as far as the quantity of proteins and calories which is given to children, that means the size of the eggs, if there is any compromise in that. Two, the quality of eggs, if they are cracked or broken, predisposing to infection. And three, if the intent is proven that this is a serial process which is being followed, then obviously the officials need to be sacked. It's important to understand that the children are the future of our country. More than 80% of the growth potential of a child is achieved before the age of 2. That means what the child is going to be as a young adult or a teenager or adolescent is decided in the first few years of life. Tamper with it now and we suffer for generations later.
Yeah, Dr. Sharma, I want to ask you that, you said that egg is seen as fancy, and of course, what you said is taken very, very well. But the point of the matter is that as a country, we are so obsessed with what is called cosmetic way of, keto diet and no fat diet and do this and intermittent fasting. Those poor children have been fasting for generations now. They've grown up only intermittent fasting. Somewhere there is a big disconnect. That's why the government tries to give them this. Even in this, if you're trying to make money, because there are some corrupt hands which are doing it. They don't care for these kids because they are small eggs. Sell me a small egg, I will never buy it. So don't you think that it is about the economic disparity which is making these middlemen do this, Dr. Sharma?
See, there are a couple of things. The first thing is a top-down approach never works. And like whether it is in India or whether it is worldwide, WHO has done several researches where they've seen that unless and until you involve the communities in planning the food and look at local produce, which is easy to source and easy to transport, and you don't need refrigeration, you don't need other things. So what I'm trying to see, and if I can quote in the French Revolution, and the Queen was told people don't have bread to eat, they said, oh, why don't they eat cakes?
Yeah.
So saying is, it's very important to understand to have a local approach. We involve the local community, source locally, and find rich, nutritious foods locally. Now, anybody you can ask, oh, egg is a good source of protein. Of course, it's a good source of protein. But can we have better solutions which are more local and which are more accessible? That's what I'm trying to say. And in any case, in summers, eating egg is not a great idea because of salmonella poisoning.
Right.
Dairy products, eggs, all these, things which have which come from animal protein, they become spoiled so fast, and there is no
right,
nobody
but
refrigeration.
You have very practical reasons there. Quickly, Dr. Bagai, I have 1 minute only. Dr. Bagai, but the point is that they were given peanuts, sir. They were given sesame seeds, which are all local. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, even Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. But they wanted eggs, sir, because of this. Do you think that egg is the only source which can help children fight stunting, or not really?
Okay, so I think nutrition has to be taken in a more holistic manner, especially in the pediatric age group. The proteins and calories can come equally well from non-vegetarian versus vegetarian. Although non-vegetarian food vis-a-vis egg is a more complete diet as far as more essential amino acids in completion. It has more minerals, more trace elements, more vitamins than some other items. But having said that, non-vegetarian diet is equally good too, provided it's in a balanced manner. But the fundamental point over here is, are we giving the nutritional requirements of what we call as RDA, required recommended daily allowance to the children? Two, are we maintaining hygiene? If the hygiene of the food is not good, be it of non-veg, veg, or any other item, then it's a sheer disaster. Remember, acute gastroenteritis and intestinal infections are killing more Indians in children age group than any other infection apart from respiratory. I think we need to understand hand washing, clean cooking, clean serving, and messaging to the parents that hygiene is paramount important in cooking and in eating.
Yeah, and no cheating, no siphoning of money off the plates of little children.